51%. What does that number mean to you? Well, it tells a really powerful story about the American middle class right now.
Okay, so to really get what that 51% means, we've got to look back. Pew Research data shows that back in 1971, the number was actually 61%. Yeah, that's a 10-point drop. In just over 50 years, the middle class has shrunk by that much. So the big question is, how did we get here? That's what this explainer is all about. We're going to dig into the hard numbers behind what's being called the middle class squeeze and see what the data really tells us. All right, first up, the shrinking middle. We're starting with the most basic, most fundamental fact here. This huge economic group is, well, getting smaller. And look, this isn't something that just happened overnight. It's been a slow, steady decline for decades now. So the real question becomes, why? What's actually driving this? And that brings us right to the heart of the matter. Income versus inflation. This is really the central conflict, right? The massive gap that's opening up between what we earn and what things actually cost. So let's start with income. Look at this number. Over the past decade, what we call real wages, that's your pay after you factor in inflation, have grown by less than 0.5% a year. Less than 0.5%. Basically, for a lot of people, paychecks haven't really gone up at all. Now put that tiny number next to this one, an inflation rate of 3 to 4%. You don't have to be a math genius to see the problem here. It's brutal. Your purchasing power isn't just stuck, it's actively going backwards. So where is all the money going? Well, let's break it down and look at 3 specific, crushing costs that are putting the biggest squeeze on family budgets. You know that feeling where it seems like everything is more expensive? Well, you're not wrong. But the data shows there are a few key areas that are outpacing everything else by a long shot. First on the list, housing. And this one is a big one. In just the last 3 years, median home prices shot up by 20 to 25%. A jump like that makes the classic American dream of owning a home feel like it's slipping further and further away. Next up, healthcare. Get this, in 2023, the average premium for a family health plan was almost $24,000. Think about that. That's like working a whole other part-time job just to pay for insurance. And that's a 7% jump from just the year before. And number 3 is a much more modern problem, the subscription creep. Right now, the average household is spending $273 a month on digital subscriptions. We're talking streaming, cloud storage, all those little software tools. And just to put that in perspective, back in 2020, that number was less than $200. Okay, so all this financial pressure isn't happening in a vacuum. There's a bigger economic story playing out. And to really get it, we need to talk about a concept you're hearing more and more from economists, the K-shaped divide. So what exactly is a K-shaped economy? It's pretty simple, actually. It's what happens after a recession, when different groups recover at totally different speeds. High-income earners, the wealthy, they bounce back fast. Their assets grow. That's the top arm of the K, shooting up. But for middle and lower-income families, their finances stall out or even get worse, and that's the bottom arm of the K pointing down. Economist Peter Atwater, who's done a lot of work on this, has a perfect metaphor for it. He says, our economy today is like a top-heavy Jenga tower. It's a great visual, right? The whole thing is being propped up by a base that's getting smaller and a lot more wobbly. And you can see the results of this pretty clearly in the spending data. High-income households are the ones driving most of the consumer spending. Meanwhile, middle and lower-income families are pulling back. They're buying cheaper brands, putting off big purchases. It's like the economy is splitting and heading in 2 completely different directions at the exact same time. So let's pull all this together. What does the big picture look like when we connect all these dots? Let's do a quick recap of the hard data. The facts are pretty stark. The middle class is shrinking. Real wages are stagnant. Key costs are soaring. And the overall economy is diverging. It's a powerful and kind of worrying summary. So these numbers give us a really clear snapshot of today, but they also force us to ask a pretty tough question about tomorrow. If these data trends keep going, what does the middle even look like in, say, 2030? What will it even mean to be middle class?